Welcome back, you guys. We are here for another episode of the Tiye Noelle Show. We were on episode 11. We're back again in the double figures. So good, we made it. Mama, we made it. Like, it's so great. But yeah, we have a lot going on as per usual. You know, we yap. But Offset is in debt. He owes over $100,000. Cardi said the money wasn't funny when I was there, so we now know it's gone awry. We also know that the Windrush money is being spent on all the non-blacks. All non-blacks get to the back. And then we also know that Justin Bieber at Coachella apparently gave mediocre performance. Some people said it was revolutionary, and other people said it was lackluster white male privilege. What do you think? We'll get into it in Hot Topics. Let's go. Okay, Offset. Listen, Offset has been off-putting for many years now after all the whole like Cardi debacle and stuff. It's so funny that a few weeks ago Cardi did say that she came online and said that someone stole $2,000 from her credit card and she was after those people, and I'm starting to believe that it was Offset. Offset's got issues with money. Okay, so a few months ago, I even think it was like a year ago, this little TJ guy came and said that Offset owed him 10 grand. Do you remember that? Like a while ago. And it was rumored that he's always had a gambling addiction, always betting people, not paying them back. He was with this little TJ guy at the casino, didn't know him from Adam, but obviously it's Offset. He's part of the Migos. He's married to Cardi. If you need 10 grand, I'll give you 10 grand. Obviously, you're going to have the money. So little TJ gives him the money, not thinking anything of it. And since then has been trying to get this money back from him to no avail. He apparently, Offset, apparently said to him that if he wants to get this money, he would have to get it back in blood. That's what he told little TJ. So little TJ said, bet. Little TJ said, bet. So when they saw that Offset was at this casino, because a fan saw him, did the video, posted, he was still in the casino, little TJ and his minions run down on Offset, had an altercation. You saw that apparently there was videos of him jumping out the car, pointing at Offset. His friends run down, and his friend is the one that apparently pistol whipped and shot him. Little TJ was arrested along with his goons. Not the booty goons, just the regular gun drillers that we are aware of, that we're used to. Do you know what I mean? Ray J. This is what we stick to, the rivers and the lakes that we're used to. Yeah, original gangsters, not them other ones. But apparently, yeah, so they ran down on him, headbutted him, gun butted him, and then shot him, right? They all got arrested because obviously this was in broad daylight. By the way, guys, what is with this dumb, I don't know, what's the word, dumb version of a criminal? Like I don't get why you would do things in broad daylight. Like everyone is moving very silly. Like they don't care that they're gonna get caught. They're doing things in broad daylight. They're doing things with tags. They're doing things on social media, because apparently also this little TJ's co-conspirator was also recording this. So when your phone has been confiscated by the police, now they have recording of you going and starting this issue with Offset. You know what I mean? Ridiculous. Anyway, it's come to find out that he apparently owes a lot of people money. He owes this same casino 100,000. He owes even Ebro in the morning. Ebro said that he owes him 5,000 from a bet that he kind of ran away from. Little TJ, he says already knows that he owes 10,000, and I think there was one other, I don't know if it was Academics, but someone else he owes money to. So we are now in like 15 to 20 grand, 115 to 120 grand worth of debt from the casinos alone, including that 2,000 that I do believe he took from Cardi. I do believe he took from Cardi. He had access to the accounts. I agree. I believe it. So he was shot. Wow, we're so sad. 4 days later, this man released from jail on a scooter in the casino again.
Oh no!
It's a problem. He's addicted. This. Look at him. No, the picture of him in the gown is him at the hospital smoking cigarette.
It's giving trailer trash.
It's giving trailer trash, literally giving trailer trash. But then, literally, now he can barely walk. He's in this scooter, rolling around the same casino that he owes money to. He's out there again 4 days later.
Sorry, the picture on the left is him in the casino.
Yeah, in that scooter. In that mobility scooter. And then he also then performed as well.
What? From where?
He's
Pay his debts.
He in I don't know, in Arkansas or somewhere, I don't remember where he was, but he performed on April the 11th, did a performance where he gets rolled out literally he is embarrassing. He gets rolled out in the wheelchair, and then the music drops. He jumps out of the chair and starts rapping as if he was paralyzed. Babe, you got shot and you was out here 4 days later walking around in the casino, but you're there performing, being wheeled out in your wheelchair, jumping up in the performance as if you was paralyzed, babe.
So he doesn't need the wheelchair.
He doesn't need the wheelchair. Oh. He did it part of the dramatic effect for the show. He thought he was going to get up and everyone's going to be like, ah! But we saw you wheeling around in the casino, babe. We know you're fine.
In the casino?
Huh?
Did he need it in the casino?
I mean, I'm sure he probably can't be walking around. It's been he was in the casino 4 days after. So I doubt he was able to just be walking around fine. He probably did need it in the casino. He might even still need it when he's there doing the performance. But the way that he put that as part of the performance for people to feel, so I don't know, sorry, empathy for him. He thought people were going to like scream down that he could finally stand. But like, babe, you are not a martyr. Like, nobody cares. Like, you're not 50 Cent. You're not even Tupac. Like, you're none of these things. Like, you are a crackhead gambler who took money from a youngin who respected you, gave you the money because they thought that you had it like that. You took advantage of him, and then you told him to come and get it back in blood, and he did. Because he was bleeding out on the streets. So, yeah, how embarrassing. Anyway, fans were basically saying that now we know that the money is funny. So they were saying to Cardi, oh, were you the one pretending that he was buying you all these gifts? And just pretending that it was from Offset. And she was like, no, honey, never. I will never be a lame ass bitch like that ever in my life. Okay, she said the money wasn't a problem and it wasn't funny when I was there. And I believe her because he had access to her money. That's what I believe. That's what I believe. Do you think that he is going out sad?
Wait, she says, when I was regulating. So she was...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was her money. She was regulating his money. It was her money. Yet regardless, like, this was Cardi's thing. Yeah. Now he's here, not making that much money from his music no more. Probably not making that much money from her shows. Like, people love the Migos. Men love the Migos, but also women love the Migos too. But we also don't like how you dogged Cardi. So no one's really fucking with you like that. What do you think about this shooting? Do you think it was justified? Because I feel like it was real justified.
I mean, he said get it back in blood.
How bold of a statement.
Yeah. So I guess he was testing his gangster.
No.
He found out.
And he found he found out. That's what I feel. I was like, this boy's a little boy.
I think to the money thing, like, obviously he's gambling and that's one thing, but like, the music industry has changed now. Artists aren't making money from putting out albums. You need to tour. And they just haven't been the same since Takeoff died, to be fair. So if you're making albums, but you're not touring, you don't have a source of income really, because you're making pennies off streaming. So what is this source of income? Yeah, his money's probably dried up because anything that you had in the account from, you know, your previous Migos money or whatever, like, obviously if you're gambling, that's going down.
That's going down.
And you ain't replenishing the money. So going out sad, man. The Migos were
He's going out so sad. He's going out so sad. But he was going outside when he was doing disrespectful shit to his wife anyway. And when you have millions of kids, this is also what you need to realize. When you have millions of kids and you have to pay child support in millions of households, you ain't gonna have money like that.
Well, on top of it. And what is he got? How many? Does he have kids outside of Cardi?
Yeah, he's got like 4.
Yeah. Different
mothers.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll be back with a family tree. We'll be back with a family tree for Offset too. Yeah, he does. Anyway, do we wish him well?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the compulsive need to record everything, do you think they recorded it because he wouldn't actually admit who shot him if like they didn't take like?
I mean, why do we need to admit that it was me that shot him? Because now me and my partner in jail. Why does no one do? Well, no one wants to do anonymous shootings nowadays. Like, why is everyone so quick to claim to the point that they would record it themselves? That's so silly.
Maybe they wouldn't have told on themselves, but he might tell a different story, and unless they had evidence, then they couldn't say, "Well, it was us," amongst the industry or people.
Okay, yeah, fair. Maybe that is why. I think that's a silly reason. Like, that's just, to me, it's a silly reason.
Yeah.
He could have just came, like, he should have never recorded anything, and then Lil Tjay should have came online and been like, or just a blood. No.
So this is what I'm saying. No, but this is what I'm saying. So like,
he got the blood.
He got it back in blood. That's literally what he said.
But you have to be able to prove that, I think, because you're taking up someone on their threat. It's silly in the first place, right?
Yeah.
But you have to have proof that you did that. Like, I'm bold enough to really come and get back in blood.
Yeah, I know. I hear what you're saying.
Believe me, if I can't prove
I hear what you're saying, but what I would do is Offset saw him, so that I got it back in blood, and then I might go on Twitter and do a little Chicago thing where I'm like retweet and I just do a little blood, like a little blood spot or something like that. But I'm not gonna record it.
Yeah,
I don't think that this is how rappers and our hip hop artists work.
That's how they used to work.
I think
that's not how they work anymore.
I don't know.
They be telling on themselves.
Yeah, I think it's just everyone is streaming shit. Everyone thinks that they are a reality TV like
but
production.
But you're also
now.
Comparing apples and oranges because we didn't have the platform. We don't know if these people would have taken advantage of how stuff is now.
Well, true, but let's say we spoke about Little Durk and all of that sort of stuff, like the Little Durk and the O Block and the, what was his name that died? King Vons of the world. They used to be tweeting like, "Oh, I'm gonna meet this person. This person got shot." Da 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 da. That was the thing. Now they're recording, like video recording these things, right? I just think it's silly. Like, I need the person to know that it was me that got you because I'm gonna be in your face, but I don't want everybody else to know because then I'm gonna end up in jail
anyway. Because it's like, imagine you said get it back in blood. I've done it. Yeah, publicly. I've done it, and then the news breaks that Offset was shot. I would literally just retweet it and be like, "Bet."
Yeah, but people might just be thinking that you're retweeting it because you have.
And that's fine. And that's
fine.
Or I would retweet back in blood. Like literally, that's incriminating, but just a little bit. Like, do you know what I mean? Not enough to actually place me at the scene of the crime. Not enough for me to do the work for the DA themselves.
Unless you now go and say that, he shot me.
Listen, I don't agree.
You know,
I'm just saying, if someone calls someone out in public, I think they want to also reply in public.
I think it's more gangster.
Well, that's bad bitch of you. I think that's very bad bitch of you to be like, if you said it in public, then I need to be in public and I need to get all the attention. Right. But if you're a real gun driller for real, if you're meant to be a gangster for real, it should just be the act. It should be the act that this person knows that I did it because I said it to their face. You said to get back in blood. I did. You're here bleeding out.
Yeah. Facts. Get well
you
soon.
You caused this. Get well. Literally, you caused this. I literally just go on Twitter and be like, back in blood. Get well soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I feel. Anyway, Kanye West, we spoke about this last week, so there's not really much to add for the fact that it has been officially cancelled. They haven't found someone else. They've just cancelled Wireless. This is the first year that Wireless has ever been cancelled, other than obviously COVID. What do we think about this? What do you think about the band? How do you feel about the fact that, like, you know, Pepsi, who the CEO of Wireless said that Pepsi actually did approve Kanye West before they announced him, because they have to with their major partnerships, right? So for them to turn around now and then with the backlash turn around and say, yeah, we didn't approve this, we're going against this, like, he needs to step down, kind of a slap in the face, very hypocritical, right? And the CEO basically was saying that, like, what was the backlash? Like, what was the level of backlash are we talking about? Are we saying that the individuals of the regular people in the streets and regular civilians was all here saying like, oh my God, why is Kanye West headlining Wireless? Or is it more so because of corporate viewing and corporate and the people that own the corporates? You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking that too, because I saw people more excited that he had the 2 shows in LA and how amazing that was, that people were really excited about Wireless. I didn't really see the backlash of even the 2 shows in LA. So I was quite surprised when this took the turn that it took. Last week I did say, before obviously knowing that it was cancelled, that I do sometimes feel that celebrities do their whole mental health and an apology and they get away with doing really damaging, serious things. And, you know, don't want always, I don't want it always to be that black stars that have to deal with the grunt of dealing with the consequences of their actions. I want everyone fairly, like across the board, to deal with the consequences of their actions. However, I do kind of feel like this is the first time Kanye has had to deal with the consequences of his actions, with the amount of hate he has spewed over the last, I don't know, 6 years, maybe even longer. Do you know what I mean? What are your thoughts?
What was the conversation you guys had last week about who can replace him?
Yeah, we had that conversation. Yeah.
This was before it was cancelled.
Yeah, before it was cancelled. Because basically, I was saying I don't think they're going to replace him. I'm happy that they ultimately they didn't. They just cancelled it.
They have the money. I don't think it was lack of a headliner. I think it's lack of sponsors now to get a new one on track for the date.
But wouldn't the position be that, okay, we're pulling back because you've got Kanye West if you replace him? Because I'm assuming this wouldn't have just been like it would have been some kind of back and forth, right? They're not just going to be like, all right, we're like announce on Twitter we're pulling out, like because Kanye West is headlining.
If you approve and then you pulled out and then you want to reapprove, I'm going to have a problem with that, I think.
As in Wireless, you think that? So you think that maybe the conversation would have been, okay, Pepsi was like, well, if you get rid of Kanye, we will sponsor the show again. And then the CEO was like, well, no, because you approved him this time, so why? And we're the one facing the backlash. Why would I want to get back in bed with you, kind of thing?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like that's. I'm glad that they didn't just replace or concede to replacing him.
Other countries have started. There's a domino effect. I believe I heard that France also
banned him
from visiting, from being in the country.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously UK can set the precedence in that way.
But I just heard that he's going on tour in all these other countries. They're like, oh yeah, he's going to be in Amsterdam.
There's
and blah,
opportunity
blah, blah.
for other places to be like, we'll take you and make the money from it, right?
Yeah.
Amsterdam's always been more liberal. France is always more aligned with UK.
I thought it was actually performing in France.
Well, for me personally, I'm like I said, I kind of, you have to deal with the consequences of your actions. I'm just a bit disappointed that Wireless has been cancelled as a whole. I think it's really sad that it's very rare. Like I said, it's not happened other than COVID. So for this to be the reason why there's not going to be a Wireless this year is crazy to me. I feel like they should just be able to replace. But if you're saying like, yeah, maybe they're like, I don't want to get in bed with you, they probably have to, there's probably an insurance thing. They probably have to pay Kanye some sort of money. Because if he signed up and everyone signed up and everyone's like, it's okay, they probably still have to pay Kanye West because it's not a breach of his contract, it's a breach of theirs. So I think they are probably going to have to pay the things that they have insurance with. Well, the insurance will pay, because let's be real, they have insurance with some of these things. They will probably have to pay insurance for all of these other things that they won't be able to get their money back. But in terms of paying Kanye West, they probably have to pay Kanye West. So which I'm sure he's getting something.
It's fine either way.
Yeah,
but I think I'm glad that they cancelled it, because I feel like there's a bigger issue at hand, kind of thing. Because I feel like these corporations, all of this stuff that goes on, where it's like behind closed doors, a conversation has happened. If you've agreed to something, because we know that there's no way you're gonna book a headliner and the sponsors aren't going to be made aware who that
Or who the
headliner
headliner is before we even announce it. Absolutely.
So you doing all of this like conversations behind, and then because you want to, what's the word, virtue signal, you're going to announce publicly, oh yeah, we've pulled back, we're pulling our sponsorship because, you know, Kanye West, whatever. I think that's the bigger issue. So yeah, go ahead and cancel wireless and get this stuff all out in the open, because I feel like this happens a lot. Same type of thing with BBC with the whole like, investigating the whole
BAFTA thing.
Yeah, the BAFTA thing.
Literally.
Like, you're just playing games.
They always want to do it on the back end.
Yeah.
When they're literally the conversations are happening up front and you stand by it up front, and then as soon as something happens or it's happening in the moment, you can fix it in the moment. But you decide to do nothing, and then you want to act like you didn't agree to anything, hide your hands or whatever. Like it's ridiculous. Yeah.
I guess it's polarizing because of who he is, right? That he's not a perfect victim.
No.
But we often and culturally and our stars have faced the consequences of these things
100%
way more than, it's not equal across the board. So I don't want to say that because it's Kanye, I don't still believe that things should be equal. Like, I don't know that he is facing the consequences of his actions, really. I think he's been made an example of, but I think they need to do that to everybody. He's not a perfect victim, but it's okay. Like, victims don't need to be perfect. So I think in this case, you do have to separate Kanye from just an artist that's controversial. Do we still platform other controversial artists, movie
all the time,
business
all the
people?
time?
Yes.
Yeah.
If we look at the president of the United States,
literally,
there's no way really he should be in office.
Literally.
Much less be able to do all the things that he's able to do
Exactly.
and being paid for, right?
Exactly.
So when we talk about victim, we can't talk about Kanye. We just have to almost pretend it's like a John Doe with a messy background. Everybody should pay equally.
Yeah.
Right? And this is me as a person that doesn't really separate the art from the artist. I don't really listen to Kanye and that anymore. But in this circumstance, I don't think he should have been.
I think Wireless can do whatever they want to do. Him being stripped from the title of being at the Wireless Festival, I think that's the consequence of your actions. And I feel like any brand, privately owned brand, can pull whatever they want to do. Yeah. And that would be the consequence of it.
Wireless, the brand, the people that go to Wireless in London and whoever travels for it. I don't know that it
affects him the way that you think. Yeah. Well, especially what's going to affect
as a brand or money?
Yeah, I agree, but this is their form of him, the consequence, right? The only thing that I don't agree with is that this man should not be banned from the UK, banned from France. He has never been convicted of anything. Yeah. He is not a danger to society. So I think that is where I feel like that has gone too far. He doesn't deserve it. And that is when we are now like going into is it bullying? Is it like, something else? And the whole blacklisting and the whole, everything he once said about a particular group of people, as much as you try to say that this is not what you represent, is very much looking like you are in control of certain things, because no other group of people can get someone banned out of the UK.
I also still feel like
very weird.
We are,
or France.
Yeah, and we're forgetting the mental health piece, which may seem like a cop out or whatever, but
it's not mental health when you are a black man.
Yeah, because
they don't care.
They kept pushing it in our face that we must be considerate of the mental health act.
Yes.
So where's
Autorex
now?
For the BAFTAs.
Yes.
But it's not when you're a black man.
Yeah.
So again, in this situation with Kanye, it's like I kind of felt like I wanted him to face a little bit of backlash or consequences. But in the grand scheme of things, I think they've gone too far. I don't think it's fair. He doesn't deserve to be banned from any country because he has actually done nothing illegal to anyone for him to not be able to travel freely and do whatever he wants anywhere. If they don't want to platform him, that is completely fine. But I'm sure due to insurance and the fact that he signed on that dotted line, he is going to get some sort of money from this anyway, and he does not have to perform. He will be fine. Yeah. Right. But yeah,
This is why I
shots.
say it's not about the brand or the money.
No.
It's about what you're saying on a wider structural level.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And they were always going to go too far with the consequence anyway.
Because he's a black man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kanye. Anyways, next. Another concert. Justin Bieber, he was at Coachella. This is 3 years after he was supposed to be there. He finally is here at Coachella. Everyone was very excited about the fact that he was going to be there. And then he apparently has been paid $10 million. $10 million. Apparently the highest paid person to headline Coachella. For what some people said was a bare minimum performance, lackluster performance. However, nostalgic filled. So what Justin did was he sat at the computer, at a laptop, and had the screen behind him, and it went through YouTube because he was discovered on YouTube. So he was going back to his channel, to his old videos when he was like performing in his house, when he was trying to get discovered. He was pulling up Baby and all of the songs, and like even showing like little different memes, and when he was chased by paparazzi and all of these funny quirks, and going down the history of Justin Bieber in his music and in the press, and like making comments. And like it was funny for some people, but for some people it was like, this is great if you're streaming it, but in person it's boring. Other people were saying that it was also for the fact that he sold his catalog last year, and if he was to sing these songs in a full performance, he would have to license these songs, but instead he did YouTube karaoke to get around paying for these licenses. Again, pardon?
He sold his catalog.
He sold his catalog, yeah.
Okay.
He's another one that sold his catalog.
Recently, right?
Recently, yeah. It was like either beginning of this year or end of last year. Yeah. And it was like 300 something million, which I still feel like for Justin Bieber, it gave small fry. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that could have been a bit more for Justin Bieber. Yeah. But what he did do, though, is he performed his newer music that he has the rights to. And he had Thames come out, and he had who else came out? I know Davido, Thames, and Wizkid. Did Davido perform, or was it Wizkid? Someone else performed.
Dijon?
No, Thames and Wizkid.
Thames and Wizkid performed, but I think Davido performed separately. But separately. But in this thing, it was Davido. It was Wizkid and Thames. He also had someone else come out and perform. I forgot who it was.
Dijon.
Huh?
Dijon. Was it Yukon, the song?
No, Dijon. I'm literally telling you.
No, Dijon. Okay, Dijon too.
The song was.
No, I don't remember the song. I'm just naming the people.
Because
Dijon.
I can confirm.
Dijon came.
He came
fine,
out
but there was someone else. It was a woman.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be him.
Yeah, but anyway, either way, he did have performances for his tracks that he owns the rights to, right? But a lot of people were saying that it was very mediocre, and this is the white privilege that people are talking about, white male privilege, because then there were other people like Sabrina Carpenter who spent the most on a production and was giving full theatrics, and a Kylo G who was the first Latina woman or Latina person to headline Coachella, and she is there doing full blown, thing, whereas Justin Bieber was just sitting on a chair at a laptop playing from YouTube, doing YouTube karaoke.
Earned the right to be able to do that?
Well, people said that he owned the right to do that, but what is the earning the right to do that? I'm not okay. This is me just playing fiddle.
He's been in the game a while.
Mm-hmm.
He has hits.
Mm-hmm.
People will literally just want to see him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need production. I don't know that he's ever been like a production heavy person.
Mm-hmm.
What was he supposed to do when people want to hear his old stuff, but he actually can't play it? That way he satisfied the crowd. And the video I saw, people were singing along like it was karaoke.
So this is what I saw that too. But that was when I then saw all the other people that apparently people were leaving Coachella because it was boring. Some people said that it looked good online, which is what we saw, and I thought like it looked great.
Well, they just had to hang
but in person, for the people that paid the $600 for general admission.
But even the Wizkid and Thames song, that looked beautiful.
At the end, yeah, exactly.
So you just had to be patient. This is a concert.
No, I agree.
To even get yourself out of a crowd at Coachella is a lot of effort. You could have just stayed.
You could have just stayed.
He is not Chris Brown. He was never going to get.
Well, this is
full
also, that's what I
theatrical
said,
show.
because I was like, but Justin Bieber has never been a dancer like that. Most of his videos is him walking through corridors, walking down streets, like leaning on girls. Like, do you know what I mean? There's very few times that he's doing a routine, and even then, it's very much a little bridge. Like, he's never been that guy. I actually really enjoyed the back and forth with the audience, talking to the audience, putting up these different memes. You know, when he's like,
artistic.
pardon?
I thought it was artistic.
Yeah, it was very different. We've never seen anyone do anything like that. What I thought was one of the funniest things I saw was when Katy Perry was like, thank God he had YouTube Premium because I didn't want to see no ads. Because I literally was like, when I saw him start pulling things up and clicking on the different videos, I was like, is the ad going to pop up? No, obviously not. But for a second, I did think, what if an ad pops up? Are we just going to be there to skip?
He has premium.
But if you think about it,
165 million.
well, someone broke down. They were like, he got $1 million. YouTube ad free is like $10. The laptop is like
900.
not even like maybe like $2,000 for a Pro Max. You know what I mean? And then what did they say? The chair. They were like, the chair must have been like $500. You know what I mean? So all of that to say that he probably went home. It went back to eat. Like, it went back to his child. Yeah. Like, he probably left with at least 9 million of that 10 million. And I rate it. No, he paid all these other people, and there was a set. Yeah. There was a set that had that. There was like this white little curvature that
for Thames,
and bringing and flying them over and all that kind of stuff. So you know, he at least went home with like.
He looked like he was in love with Thames, boy.
Who don't look like they're in love with Thames?
True.
I look like I'm in love with Thames. Thames looks like Nala. She looks like a lion.
Yeah,
she's so gorgeous.
I have a question about the catalog thing.
Yeah.
I feel like if someone was to give me 360 whatever mil for my catalog, they're telling me that's how much they at least
are gonna make it.
Yeah, right? But that means it's way less than they anticipate to make.
100%.
Yeah.
So is it just the fact of getting that lump sum figure for him, rather than like the long-term investment of the business of his catalog that he can spin and make more money?
Yes, because I'm guessing also what it is fee, like because of the deal that he would have been on, because he was under the same person that was managing Kanye West for a while, and I think the same person that was Scooter.
Okay.
Who is notorious for terrible
horrible
deals,
horrible
like
person,
like the Gucci Mane of pop.
Okay.
Like, no, honestly.
So, yeah. So he wouldn't have got that. I think that's why people sell their catalogs, because
poor Taylor Swift did the same thing.
And debt, do you think?
Yeah, and what people try to do, what they hope to do, is that they leverage this money so they can make it into whatever it is, and then later on down maybe buy the catalog back later on.
And even that, I don't think he would buy. He's such a young artist that you can just put.
No, it's okay. No, it's alright.
Oh, he's such a young artist that you can just you can just create more.
He can create more, exactly, which is why he's performing these songs and like those songs he can perform because it's his stuff now that he's in control and out of that deal. I think with obviously songs like Baby and all of that kind of stuff, like he could have come out and did a rendition of it like Lauryn Hill. But everyone hates when Lauryn Hill performs the fake version of the songs that we want to hear.
Without a breath and like singing a fast version of
right. So I think he tried to make the most of it without doing it in a way that people would hate. Because if he went up there and everyone's singing around to Baby, 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 but it doesn't sound nothing like the original, everyone would hate that.
Yeah.
So I'd rather him do YouTube karaoke than to do a Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
And Lauryn Hill, if you're listening, baby, whatever they want you to pay it. Because we're sick of hearing this jazz version of whatever you're doing.
When you do show up to sing it.
Yeah. But she was on time to Kanye West. And they said she did good. Because Kanye don't play. He probably paid her well, though. He's like Tyler Perry. I'm sure he paid her well. And she was there on time. Yeah. But And I'm sure, I actually feel like that version that she sang at Kanye West was the
legit
relevant. So he
Yeah.
will pay.
So we ain't gonna do that shit that you do normally.
Yes. So Kanye West
We're
will
gonna do
pay
that
so
over
we can
here.
get the proper rights and play the real music. But then everyone else, for your tour, you don't want to invest the money.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Oh.
Anyway, thank God Justin didn't do that. But yeah, shout out to Katy Perry. This was hilarious. I thought this was funny. It was the funniest meme I had heard. But then Katy Perry's in the news for other things. She's a nasty bitch. like allegedly. If this is true, I feel like I'd be like Toronto. If this is true, literally. But if this is true, that Katy Perry apparently sexually assaulted Ruby Rose, not Ruby Rose, Eritrean black rapper, Ruby Rose from Ruby Rose from Orange Is the New Black. She said that this nasty bitch pushed her panties to the side and rubbed her vagina on her face to the point that her eyes popped open and she projectile vomited on her because her pussy was stank. It had to be.
That must have stank.
If I'm projectile vomiting on someone, it must have been musty, dusty, and disgusting.
Some spice on it.
Right. Yeah. And also, it was in a club. So it had about 2 dozen on it. Minimum.
And you know she goes for it as well.
Yeah. You know she's one of them pop babes. With your sweaty vag, pulled your panties aside and rubbed it on my face. Mind you, the clarity of the situation, because obviously Katy Perry has basically said that this is denied, and said that Ruby has come out multiple occasions to spew things that people have said have been a lie. In my mind, you said that it was the club, because when I first saw the caption of it all, I was like, oh, was this in someone's home? Was you sleeping? Because your eyes were closed. Because if I'm in a club, how are you able to stand on top of me, push your panties to the side, rub it in my face, and I'm sitting there and allowing you to come that close to me to do that to me? And then she said her eyes popped open. So was you sleeping in the club?
Yeah.
She was probably like passed out on the sofa, and then Katy was probably on the sofa dancing. And then she was.
That must have been what it is.
Wow.
That must have been what it is. It has to be.
When she was really popular, Ruby got all the bitches. I'm sure she was like. She
used to be that bitch. Well,
yeah,
she's that bitch,
like she was
used to be that
with a lot of girls around that time.
Which is why I don't think she's lying here.
It's not.
She said she saw that best. She said that she saw the video of Katy Perry talking about Justin Bieber, and it triggered her. She was like, "This happened like almost 20 years ago," but she saw that video and it triggered her so much that she had to come out and tell everyone that nasty Katy Perry pushed her panties to the side and rubbed her pussy on her face.
And 20 years ago, Katy Perry was like that. Goth.
Yeah, she's 2006.
Emo punk. That's first album.
Yeah.
Katy Perry. Yeah. She was a bit rough.
She was that bitch though.
She's a bit edgy.
I'm not gonna say I believe it, but I'm not gonna say I don't believe it. I kind of believe it. And especially the way that you described it, you passed out, someone gets on it, and and they're doing this. Kate might have thought she was being funny.
Yeah.
Quit my pussy.
Yeah.
People that are non-black. People that are non-colored, they like to do weird, pranky things that they think is funny, frat vibes. Do you know what I mean?
It's not given she did some sexy, seductive.
It wasn't sexual assault. It was sexual assault, but it's not sexual assault in that way.
She was trying to seduce her.
No, agreed. Yeah, I mean, to wrap everything up, I just feel like Katy Perry questioning you, can't lie. I mean, I know that now you're kind of like this retired pop princess. You're dating Justin Trudeau. Very weird. But I truly believe that you did this. I think you did this. I think you did. And I don't think you meant it in some wild, like, sexual assault type of way. I think you were doing this white boy frat, rubbing coochie in people's faces as a joke because they're drunk and passed out. But even still, nasty. Very nasty. Not enough to sue, I guess. So Ruby, hold it down, and enjoy Australia or wherever you're at right now. But very weird that this is what triggered you, but who am I to say what can and can't trigger people? But yeah, let's move on to the next thing. More about crazy people. Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom, if we don't know, was a basketball, not even was, is a basketball player, was a basketball player, retired at this point, played in Lakers famously with Kobe, famously married Khloe Kardashian. He did this Untold story that's on Netflix called The Death and Life of Lamar Odom. Obviously, you would think, why the death and life instead of the life and the death? Because he really actually truly died. But then he was brought back to life. So really, it's not the life and then the death, because actually it's the death and then the life, because he died and he's still alive.
How?
So, oh, you don't know anything about this story? Okay, well, let me introduce you to this crazy story. I just have to point out, I would just like to point out before we get into the nitty-gritty that I have always been a Lamar Odom stan. I thought that he was very much in love with Khloe.
So not as a basketball player.
I don't give a damn about him being a basketball player. I never even knew this man until he came up on put out the Kardashians and they said that they were getting married in 30 days. And I said, who was this, after she was being cheated on by this other NFL basketball player called Rashad, and he was treating her so badly. That was the end of that season. Then the new season came, and then she was in love with this guy, and he was all tall, and he was calling her beautiful, and they were getting married in 30 days. And I was like, oh my god, this man loves her, and he plays with Kobe, and he's in the Lakers, and it was all great. And I just thought that they were a fantastic couple together. Come to find out after watching this documentary, it's not that. So yeah, Lamar Odom was married to Khloe Kardashian for about, I think, like 6 to 7 years. Within this marriage, she was 24 when they got married. He met her, and he was playing for the Lakers. He was always obviously in Kobe's shadow, but he was like a big part of the team. But he didn't want just to be a Laker. He wanted to be Hollywood famous. And that is very much obvious in this documentary. He married her in 30 days after leaving his baby mom in New York, when they just suffered a loss of their 3-month-old child who died from SIDS. So like what's it called again?
Sleeping infant syndrome.
Pardon? Sleeping infant syndrome. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that baby died, and while they were grieving, she was meant to come back to LA because it was now on season. She didn't want to go back with him to LA because she wanted to grieve in New Jersey. She didn't want to go back with him to LA because she wanted to grieve in New Jersey and in New York with their family, with their support system. So then he moves there, he goes to a party, he meets Khloe Kardashian, he says in the documentary that he wanted to fuck. And then she didn't let him fuck. And they spent every single day together, and he was around her family and was like, oh my god, this is the life that I want to live. I really enjoyed this family, I enjoyed this fame, all this kind of stuff. And then they got married in 30 days. Right. They're together for a few years, and then she realizes, Khloe, that Lamar has a drug problem. So Lamar's dad also has his dad Joe has a drug problem. He's Lamar I'm talking about. He is a fame whore and a drug addict. And when we was watching Keeping Up the Kardashians, they did a spin-off called Lamar and Khloe, who then we fell in love with Lamar and Khloe. They had their own unisex perfume, like this whole thing. We used to think that it was the Kardashians that were forcing these men to do these things. Apparently, he's the one that pitched the show of just them. Yeah, he wanted the fame. He wanted the show. So then they're doing the show. The cameras are on them. Blah blah blah. There was a few moments when his best friend died from an overdose, like his childhood best friend, and that's when you realize that his best friend had a drug issue. His dad had a drug issue, and we knew that on the show, but we for some reason didn't ever think that Lamar would have a drug issue, even though these are his people. Naive. We were young when we watched it. Do you know what I mean? So in this documentary, we follow the fact that he then does these drugs, like really heavy drugs, when he's in the off season. But then obviously when it comes to now getting back into training to get himself together, he can get himself together. when you're on the Lakers, they had this level of like, I guess, like discipline and regimen. He's working under Kobe. He can't be with that nonsense. But then he starts doing it more harsh, like more aggressively. She's having to deal with it. He's getting missing in LA, fucking all these girls. She's there. This is when she's like 24, 25, hiding it from her family, hiding it from the press. But obviously people are kind of like putting two together. It gets worse when he gets traded out of the Lakers to some other fuck off country, city that nobody knows of, and some team that nobody cares about. And he is depressed, right? And that's when he starts doing crazy drugs, as in locking himself in the room doing heroin and crack. Not just cocaine.
Okay.
Like crack, as in like basing out the spoon.
Okay. Yeah.
And she knows this. He's like locking himself in rooms and she knows this. Then he's also like disappearing for days. There was even a scene in the Keep It Out Culture that they included in this documentary where she was at dinner with her sister, with Kim and the mum, and then he calls and she's like, oh my god, like, hi Lamar, da, 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 da. And then Kim's like, oh, let me speak to him. So she starts speaking to him, and then I guess the static was bad. Kim put down the phone because she was like, I can't hear him. He needs to call back, put down the phone. And she's like, oh my god, I haven't spoken to him all day. But actually she had not spoken to him for like weeks. Her birthday, he would be out getting high, fucking all these girls, and she would lie to her family that she was with him, so she would be at home by herself. Right. The only person apparently that knew was the mum, but everybody else wasn't aware of all this stuff. This 25, 26-year-old. Pardon? Everyone else wasn't aware, but the mum knew because she confided in the mum. But at this time, she is like 25, 26 years old. This is when the life and the death of Lamar Odom comes around, yeah? He, one time, goes for a binge. So he goes to this bunny ranch in the middle of, like, between LA and Vegas, in one of them little, dusty roads. He goes there and he takes, like, 12 of those, like, performance-enhancing drugs. He obviously passed out, foaming at the mouth, all this stuff. They take him, they call the ambulance. He goes to the hospital. He is in a coma. He dies. Like, I think they said that he died like 6 times, had 12 seizures, was in strokes, was in a coma for like 5 days, or I don't know, I think it might have been longer than that. Crazy amount of time he was in a coma, right? All because he was out here trying to fuck these bitches and get high while he's married to Khloe Kardashian. Obviously, it's all over TMZ. Everyone knows about it. The owner of the bunny ranch is doing interviews. They're auctioning off the signed receipts for his booking at the ranch. They eventually take
75,000,
literally for 75,000, just so that obviously TMZ and all those people are like reporting the story, and they want all of the evidence, all the videos. They're selling it all off, all the stuff. They eventually actually move all of the stuff from that room and put it in a museum. These people are sick.
Wait, was it 175 or 75 that he paid the ranch? The brothel.
He paid over 175 for them to pick him up, for the drugs, for the girls, for whatever length of time that he wanted to be there. And they were supplying drugs and food and all this kind of stuff for him. Disgusting. When Khloe goes to the hospital, his dad is there, drug addict, goes in, and she hears him basically saying, well, if he's in a coma, pull the plug. But obviously, she said his wife even got divorced. She also said, which was so sad. She also said, which was so sad, that with the whole drug issues that he was having, they did an intervention for him. And they were like, if you go and tell him that you're going to divorce him, he will fix up. He will go to rehab. So you need to give him an ultimatum and say, if you do not go to rehab, I'm going to divorce you. So she was like, okay, fine, I'm going to do it. She goes in there, gives him the ultimatum, and he's like, okay, give me the papers.
I'm not a drug addict.
Because he's a drug addict. I'm not going to rehab. Like, he's a drug addict. So then anyway, this is before this happens. Then he goes and does this whole thing. He's in the hospital. His dad comes, tries to pull the plug because his dad thinks he's a beneficiary for his estate because he doesn't realize that they're still married.
Right. But
obviously because they filed for divorce, but they're still married. So she's like, oh no, I'm in control here. Get him out. What do you want, Joe? Money, cigarettes, money for this, trainers, blah, blah, blah. Gave his dad a little care package and sent him on his way. Dad was never to be seen the whole time he was in hospital.
Lamar, what would I say? What am I trying to say?
I want to get there later.
No, well, I'm just saying that Lamar doesn't agree with this version.
Yeah, I was going to say that later. But okay, yes, yeah, fine. Lamar doesn't believe, like, since this whole documentary thing has come out and Lamar's in the press, Lamar is basically saying that he doesn't believe that situation happened. He doesn't believe that his dad said that. But he's an addict like his dad.
He was also on the table unconscious.
How would he know? Yeah. Why would Chloe make that up? Chloe's not going to make that up. Why would she say that? In this whole documentary too, you're also learning from his last baby mum, the one that he left when the baby died, and then he got married to someone else 30 days later. She's there talking about how absent of a father he is with his kids. His kids are also in the documentary, talking about their wounds and all of this stuff, how he basically married Chloe. They didn't get to go to the wedding because the mum didn't want them to the wedding, to be fair. But also, like, they weren't invited to be around and all this kind of stuff. He would, like, not pick them up, not be around, all this stuff. When he won the championship with Kobe, he did a drug binge after winning, right? So when they do the parade, he was meant to bring them. He was so drugged and like so fucked up that he didn't want the kids to see him like that. So he turned them away, even though they came to LA to go to this parade with him. Then a few hours later, he goes to the parade. Doesn't even pick up his kids. This is the fame whore we're talking about, right? Even after this, with the drug thing, gets out of the hospital, doesn't even know how to walk. He can't speak, he can't walk, he can't even wipe his ass. Chloe's there showing him pictures of his son. Do you know who this is? This is LJ. This is your son. Nursing this man back to life. We see videos of it. Never left his side. He couldn't walk. She then, with her own money, gets him a house after to be rehabilitated. Guess what he does? Finds a drug dealer and is smoking crack in the house. She said she came into the house to check on him, and she was like, once you smell that smell, you'll never forget that smell. She said she walked into the bedroom, and he's on the side of the bed doing crack. She said she punched him in the face. Because how dare you? You are like, you died. And we actually saved you, brought you back to health, even though I'm not meant to be a wife, but I'm still doing wifely duties to a man who has cheated on me, is on drugs, a mess, embarrassed me all over the public. I'm still here nursing you back to health. I bring you into this house and he's pretending to be more sick than he is, because obviously you're not that sick if you're able to get a phone, get money, be a drug dealer.
And do more crack.
So she punched him in the face and get the fuck out. And then they never saw each other again for like 10 years. Now she's in this documentary. Last season of Kardashians, he was there bringing her a cake, even turned up to that event late to basically like, I apologize, I'm so glad that you helped me. But now he's doing press tour because it's not looking favorable for him. I don't know what he thought this was going to do, but it actually made him look like an opportunist. His friend was like, why would you marry this woman? He was like, I saw the family, I see what like this can give me. He saw the family, saw the limelight, and wanted that level of attention because he wanted to be like a couple with Chloe. But he never really speaks about Chloe in terms of like, other than she wiped my ass, because he said that a couple times. He never spoke about her in terms of like the love of his life.
Yeah, did he claim to love her?
Well, in the back of the day he used to, but in this documentary it didn't give that. Right. And then he also spoke about her, looking after him and stuff like that. And in the documentary was kind of like positive about it, like she was there for me, blah, 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 blah. But in the press tour since all of this has happened, he was like, God saved me. They was like, Chloe saved your life. Like, was there for you? He's like, no, God saved me. I think he's not liking the attention that Chloe's getting of being the saint in this situation, and him looking like the manipulative, narcissistic drug addict that he is. He never even mentions really his kids in this. The kids like trying to have a relationship with him. His son is not having a relationship with him, and the son's all like, the son is trying to have a relationship with him, and the son was like, sometimes he feels like the parent, and like he feels like Lamar is still a child and needs to grow. He's never gone to official rehab, like real rehab. Has never gone through it. Even at the end of the documentary, he makes a joke about going to Vegas and like, meeting fucking bare girls and all this kind of stuff. He's like, oh, I'm only joking. I'm not gonna lie, he don't look like he's learned not a thing. Lamar doesn't look like he's learned not a thing. I think he thought that he was gonna put this out and everyone's gonna see him as a victim, but it very much looks like someone who is.
How did you think that?
He looks like someone who has manipulated all of the women around him to get what he wanted. And he looks like a drug addict. Like, he looks like not even like a recovery addict. He looks like an addict, even to this day.
Because you can never shake that look off once you become an addict, even when you're reformed.
Yeah.
You somehow still look like your past is written on your face. I think two things. He came off as a narcissist. Like, there was
100%.
no apology.
No.
There was no regret towards anything that he did to anyone. I think it's kind of clever how they did the documentary, because the opening line is his mom being like, Lamar was so charming.
His aunt, sorry.
Yeah. Being like, Lamar's so charming. Sorry, I forgot his mom passed away. Talking about how charming he was. And I think that's the lead up to kind of show you like what he uses to embed himself with different people.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that you were like, oh, he must have thought he was going to come out of this like the victim. He must not have done his research on the series as a whole
At all.
It's about like basically broken people and controversial people, and it's not about redemption in any of the cases. I think maybe.
I think he thought he was going to get redemption, but you know what was also something that I realized when I thought he definitely narcissist. But do you remember the part when he was like, getting the crack after moving out of the hospital, and he was in the house getting the crack, and Chloe punched him, and he was all like,
who
why
would give me drugs?
No, he didn't even say me. He said, why would a man give Lamar Odom drugs after coming out of the hospital when he nearly died? Babe, it's you. It's you, babe. Like, why are you talking about in the third person? He said, why would a drug dealer give Lamar Odom drugs? You are Lamar. You called him for said drugs. He didn't just come round and give you drugs. You had to get a phone, a burner phone that this girl did not know about, and call this man for drugs. You did that. No remorse, no accountability, took no accountability for anything.
Yeah, it's very distancing language,
yes,
not only of the act, but from removing himself from himself.
Yes. And even when talking about how he's not there for his kids and all, and like, how he treated Chloe, it was very much like, I came from a rough background and this happened, and my dad was on drugs, and I dealt with lots of loss, and like my mum died when I was young, and all of these, it was always excuse after excuse after excuse, like the drugs, and like, I was partying, I was able to handle it, and it was never accountability. Even to the end, you're joking about something that has devastated everyone's lives.
Going to the place that you died at.
Yeah. Talking about you want to go back to Vegas.
It sounds like it was a pay opportunity. Maybe that was the motive.
I think it was a pay opportunity for sure. I'm sure he needs the money
to go back to the life that he was living before.
But I think he thought that it was going to give him a bit more celebrity.
Just don't see how.
We don't, but a narcissist believes that they will be able to charm the situation. He might have watched the other Untolds and been like, oh, that worked for them, but I'm going to be able to like charm it out, especially for the fact that he has women. What's her name again? Liz, whatever her name is, his first baby mum, and Chloe are both in this documentary talking about him and have never really spoke negative about him. Even Chloe in this documentary was still being honest about it, but not ever being that negative about him as she could have.
I think as it's a documentary, I think what she did very well was she was factual.
Yeah.
She kept it to the facts. She didn't
bring in her feelings.
Her opinion.
100%. Which,
as well as the mother of his children. Apart from obviously the things that they went through.
There was one time when she was like, when Chloe said that drug dealers were going onto the floor of the hotel, of the hospital, to try and collect their money from him while he was unconscious. And so once she found out, she locked it all down, so people had to sign in and out to get onto his floor, which also meant like his family. But then the security guard said, not you. And she was like, yeah, because do you know who the fuck I am? Girl, you are a baby mama. Like, you are a baby mom. This man nearly died, and we're here trying to lock shit down so drug dealers not come in the room, but you want to do ego. Do you know who the fuck I am? Bitch, yeah. And sign a paper.
I don't think she said all of that.
She did say, do you know who the fuck I am? She did say that.
Hmm.
She did say that. And then the security said, not you. And obviously we know that, babe. But at the same time, like, even if it was you, like, come on. She's doing it for a reason. I feel there was a bit there that was trying to do a bit.
She's doing it for us.
Yeah, and it was maybe a little. Oh, I think there was a bit there that I don't know if it was like a jealousy thing or what, but it just felt like she was trying to prove that she was like Chloe had control and did it. She was kind of speaking on it. Like, it gave it essence of jealousy when she was talking about the hospital experience, as if Chloe was just doing it to have control for the fact that she could, not because she was doing it for a reason to safeguard this man. She wasn't just locking it down for no reason.
Yeah, well, she probably does feel away because what she found out they were dating through TV or whatever.
Yeah, she said that she used to watch Kardashians.
Yeah, and you're in New York grieving the loss of your child, and then this person's like
30 days later, he's getting married,
exactly.
and like all of Hollywood's there. Kobe Bryant, everyone's there, and it's all over the news, all over People magazine. Everyone's talking about this Cinderella story of Chloe meeting the love of her life in 30 days, get married to this Laker, and they're having this beautiful life.
So I can see why you might be cynical and even not believe in it, because you know.
I mean, there was nothing to believe in. She was right.
In your head, you're like, he's acting from grief, and these people don't even know, or addiction. Anyway.
That's wild.
Anyway, you should watch it.
Yeah, you should really watch it.
Sounds crazy.
Another narcissist man. So, Kimora Lee Simmons, no, Kimora Lee, because she dropped the Simmons. Shout out that. Kimora Lee was on the Aspire by Emma Green podcast, and she was talking about business. It's a business podcast. She's talking about business, Fat Farm, get into the industry, all of the things. Okay, great. But one of the things that she spoke about was that how when she was 15, she was in the modeling age in industry. She meets Russell around 17. They get married at like 19, 20. At this point, he's a 30-year-old man. She's like, in hindsight, you know, a mess. Don't agree with it.
She met him at 17.
She met him at 15, 16. They started dating at 17. They got married at 19 or 20, like 21, 20, 21. She had Aoki. She had her first her first daughter at 21. So she was talking about the relationships and all that stuff, but she was saying that she learned business from men. Him, who else was she with? Was it Karl Lagerfeld? Like all of these men in the industry, like music industry or a fashion industry, that's how she learned her business. But she was talking particularly about Baby Phat. So if you don't know, Baby Phat was Russell Simmons' brand that was born out of Fat Farm. This was the women's line to the men's line, Fat Farm. She basically was the CEO, creative director. She was the one from the fashion industry doing all of the stuff regarding Baby Phat. But when it sold for over 150 million. She only got 20 million of it because she wasn't there for the initial conversation, what the deals were brokering it, because that was all Russell. And when it sold, even though he was trying to make it seem like this is the business that he started and all that kind of stuff, and like, you know, he's giving, and it was a fair exchange, she's saying that actually when it sold, the value of the selling was on Baby Phat alone. Fat Farm had been discontinued. No one was wearing Fat Farm, and it wasn't part of the deal. The deal was for Baby Phat alone. So she believes because she was the CEO, creative director, and basically created the whole vision for Baby Phat, she should have been given more. Russell said, you should be so lucky. Basically, he basically was just saying, like, did you a favor, but I gave you something that you technically wasn't legally tied to, and you should be happy with the 20 million that you got. It was already a brand that I created, which was Fat Farm, which was, I gave you the identity, I gave you the audience, I gave you all of those things which have value. And I don't think she was even discrediting that they did have value. But I think what she was saying is that when she looked at the breakdown of who got what, 20 million, she deserved more.
So he's basically saying he gave his wife a project, a hobby.
Yeah. But then that project actually overtook everything else that you did and gave you so much more. So yeah, a great interview. If you love Kimora Simmons, like I love Kimora Simmons, if you're a woman who's into business, I would highly recommend this podcast. I love Evergreen's podcast, but in particular, this Kimora Simmons one was really good. She's also like now involved with like Calcius and Rockstar and all of these other brands. So she's really smart on the business. So yeah, love Kimora down, forever a fan, forever that girl, the original It girl. So anyway, it's time for the smoke.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay. So a Miami influencer Ashlee Janea was found dead in Tanzania after being proposed to by her fiance on vacation for her 31st birthday. She is in love with this man. She's been with this man for a while, and they do like couples content. She's also just an influencer by herself in her own right. So while she's on the trip, this man proposes to her, and then apparently they get into some sort of argument, and the hotel staff separate them. They go into separate rooms. She is then now found dead in her room, and the police and the Tanzanian authorities are saying and classing this as a suicide. They found her apparently with a rope around her neck. Her family are obviously saying that there is no way that she would go on this trip, have an argument with her boyfriend or fiance, and then commit suicide. That's crazy work. Like, I agree with all the things that she's showcasing them. The proposal, doing the birthday celebration with all the flowers and rose petals in the pool. Like, she is that girl. I don't think she has that kind of life that she would then commit suicide just because they're having an argument in this moment when she just was proposed to. So I'm sure she would have thought, like, you know, this argument is not that big of a deal. So she was found dead, and they are saying that it's suicide. Her family are saying that they think that this is ridiculous. He has not been taken into custody. They are not even planning to question this man. And we know that in Caribbean countries, African countries, white is right still. And if you got money, you can pay your way out of certain situation. So it looks like for a lot of people that this man is using his privilege and his influence to be let out of this situation, because it just doesn't make sense. Someone who I adore, Masika, said that big back, receding hairline, bald, nasty, ugly, Uncle Fester looking white demon strangled that girl, put a noose around her neck like a slave master trying to stage a suicide. Shake my head. There is no black person that's going to hang themselves, especially not in no damn Africa, on their birthday. And I agree. Every time that we see these black people dying and they're saying that they're strangling themselves, I'm like, there's no black person that's going to commit suicide and they're hanging themselves or strangling themselves. I'm sorry. We will take the drugs. We are not doing that. We might even shoot ourselves, but we're not doing that, especially on your birthday. Ain't no way. And what also stressed me out is that there's people in the comments believing this story, for one, as if she would do that because she's so, you know, brokenhearted and devastated about having an argument with this white man. I disagree. But then there was also this thing where a few years ago, I think it was last year, this black man called Telbal Ratkins was killed by his white girlfriend, right? And when that happened, everyone was in an uproar. But then eventually people saw on TikTok, on Twitter, that he was saying disparaging things about black women. And we were just basically saying, like, we're not going to fight this fight. You know, if this is how you feel about black people or black women, we are not going to be on the front lines for you fighting for, you know, your redemption or to make sure that anyone goes to jail for your murder. That was the whole thing. And what he said was, I'll fuck a dog before I fuck a black bitch. And it got to be a white dog, though. That's what he said, right? They're trying to compare Ashlee to this guy. Because Ashlee said, like a week ago, she said, "Oh brother," because there's also black men in her comments, by the way. I just want to find out. "Oh brother, I see a 305 in your bio. Let's talk about all the Miami men, not white, beating their women still, or is that too touchy? Go live your life while I live mine." That was someone talking about her in her comments because she was posting this picture with her white man. She also posted a few years ago, "Every day black men wake up and find new ways of embarrassing us." Now they've scoured her Twitter, her Instagram for disparaging messages about black men. These are the messages that they got. They are not in comparison, nor do they compare to "I'd fuck a dog before I fuck a black bitch." So I don't understand as to why we're trying to make it seem like this is the same thing. And let me pass tomorrow. You will probably see a comment of mine that says these black niggas is embarrassing. Weakest link. We all say it. Okay? But guess what? I'm still messing with them. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel like this discredits her from needing the support of the black community. And we should care about making sure that whoever has done anything to her is taken to justice. Because she didn't really say nothing here. Like, none of this, you coming in my comments trying shit, and I'm talking about people getting beat, and then here you are just saying that you guys are the weakest links, which, no shade, but you do be embarrassing us. Like, we know that to be true. So yeah, prayers to Ashlee's family, justice to her. If these police officers in Tanzania are really being paid off to allow this white man to go free, no good will be done to you until Ashlee is resting. Yeah? This white man under the jail. And if it's not the jail, how about all you YNs that like to roll up on people with cameras on tag? How about you lot go do them some redemption and go sort this man out? How about that? For your sister. This is so sad. This is such a sad story. So yeah. R.I.P. to Ashlee. So yeah, thank you guys for watching the Tiye Noelle Show. We will be back with another episode. If you have not subscribed, I think we're like 5 or 4 people from 200. I know that seems a bit low, but that means everything to us. So yeah, please subscribe. Your work email, your mama's email, your grandmama's email, everybody's email. Subscribe to the channel. Please write a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Love you guys. Down next week or the week after, I'm about to be going to Barbados, so we're going to have a different scene, a different vibe. Let me know what you want to see. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.